What if I told you that a single ship, one that's rarely in the spotlight, might just be a game changer in the escalating standoff between the United States and China? Could this mysterious US Navy vessel tip the scales in a way that even Beijing didn't see coming? Today, we're diving into the incredible capabilities of the USS Lewis B puller, a ship that has China on edge, one that's redefining what it means to project power and stay battle-ready across vast oceans. But why would China feel threatened by this logistical ship? And what does its presence mean for the future of military power in the Indo-Pacific? To understand why the USS Lewis B puller holds such significance, we need to set the stage with what's happening right now in the Indo-Pacific. The region isn't just a hotbed of trade and diplomacy, it's rapidly becoming the front line of a new kind of arms race. China, intent on extending its influence and securing its status as a global superpower, has been building artificial islands, fortifying its navy, and cementing partnerships across Asia. These moves pose a direct challenge to the United States, which has long held sway over these critical waters. This struggle for dominance has led the US to rethink its strategy, and that's where the USS Lewis B puller comes into play. Traditional naval bases are scattered across the region, but they're not always close enough or quick enough to respond effectively to sudden crises. The US faces logistical nightmares in getting troops and supplies where they're needed fast, a critical factor when you're facing a sophisticated, expanding military force like China's. The USS Lewis B puller isn't your average Navy ship. It's what's known as an Expeditionary Sea Base, or ESB, designed to support a range of operations, from logistical support and special forces deployment to humanitarian missions. Its sheer size and versatility make it unlike anything else in the Navy. With a flight deck spanning nearly the length of 2 football fields, it's equipped to handle helicopters, drones, and even V-22 Ospreys. But here's where it gets even more revolutionary. The puller can operate almost like a floating command center, ready to lead a mission or support hundreds of troops directly on the water. This floating fortress can carry over 11 million gallons of fuel, which means it's capable of refueling an entire fleet on the go. Imagine being able to deploy, resupply, and even house special forces, all without ever having to touch a traditional port. The puller is built to bring the fight and the supplies wherever it's needed, even in the middle of nowhere. For the US, that flexibility could be the ultimate strategic advantage. But why does China see the USS Lewis B puller as a threat? Well, it all comes down to mobility and reach. China has invested billions into its own military infrastructure, especially in the South China Sea. But despite their home field advantage, the puller threatens to disrupt the regional balance by enabling the US to project its power anywhere, anytime. With the puller in the water, American forces can maintain a constant, flexible presence without needing to rely on local bases, which are often within reach of Chinese missiles. Today's naval warfare is all about logistics and agility. You can have the strongest battleships and the fastest jets, but if you can't refuel, resupply, and respond instantly, you're at a disadvantage. That's the modern battlefield reality. The puller gives the US just that, a versatile, adaptable solution to China's geographical and logistical advantage in the region. So, what does all of this mean for the broader Indo-Pacific region? For starters, the puller is more than just a ship. It's a message. The US is showing its commitment to maintaining a free and open Indo-Pacific and countering China's push to dominate the region. China may have its string of pearls, a series of ports and bases that bolster its reach, but the puller represents a new level of mobility and independence for US forces. Imagine multiple pullers stationed strategically across the Pacific, each one ready to spring into action. This isn't just about one ship. It's about setting the stage for a fleet of mobile bases that can act as command centers, refueling stations, and rapid response units. For allies in the region, the puller symbolizes the US's readiness to respond to aggression and support friends when they need it the most. Where does this all lead? With China and the US locked in a high-stakes chess game, every new move, every innovation, could be the difference between control and vulnerability. As China watches closely, the US Navy will continue to adapt, potentially building more ships like the puller or adding even greater firepower to its existing fleet. This ship is a glimpse into the future of naval warfare, where power isn't just about who has the biggest fleet, but who can stay in the fight the longest. With the puller on their side, U.S. forces gain a massive advantage, one that's not easily countered by traditional means. But will this be enough to maintain dominance in the Indo-Pacific? That's a question that only time, and perhaps a little bit of innovation, will answer. So, what do you think? Will ships like the USS Lewis B puller reshape the future of military strategy, or does China still have the upper hand in the Pacific? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're there, let us know what other military innovations you'd like us to cover next. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for more deep dives into the tech, tactics, and tensions shaping our world.